It's 7. Okay. He lied.
You were saying...
Hey, man. I was just going by what was going on in chat. Alright, so we got a nice pipe transition here. Very difficult, high skill.
I hear they're praying perfect. And already
yeah,
we see 1, 2.
Yeah, the other runners opting to check out the other pipe, and gimpxtreme just going straight for 1, 2 here. And actually seems to be the correct thing to do, although there is another route as well here that we see Nick taking.
Oh, yeah, this is a beta level.
Sure is. A whole lot of enemies in this one, you know, these 2 Lakitus.
Hey, Lakitus can be pretty intimidating if you don't have a power-up.
Yeah, sometimes, especially that one right there. He always seems to be right at the apex. And so we see these other 2 runners. I think Herbaceous Meteor took a death.
Meanwhile, we're seeing the first Piranha stage on Macobra's side.
Yeah, and Nick actually finding the correct path here. So he chose right, and everybody else chose wrong. Look at that. It's kind of the way World 7 goes sometimes, you know?
Sometimes it pays to be lucky, sometimes it pays to have skill.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, Macobra taking the death there, having to do the stage small. A little scary.
But he gets a cloud, so that could come in handy later.
Yeah, that's a pretty useful item. Unfortunately, he seems to go in the wrong direction. Nick's the only one that seems to have it figured out. That's kind of the benefit in World 7. If you guess right away, you can get a huge advantage over your opponents, so...
Man, so much death left, right, and sideways meanwhile.
Yeah, we see Mac and Gimp both playing 5-4-2 here.
Ooh.
And it's just generally better to keep moving forward on this stage. As you can tell, there's just all these potaboos everywhere, and you don't want to get caught by one if you're standing still. The good news is if you keep running, for the most part, you're pretty safe in the stage. Don't have to worry about them, but sometimes you get some weird potaboo patterns at the end. And oh my goodness, we see 7-5 coming out for Nick here.
That looks like a very bad place to find an angry son.
Yeah, it's not great. It's because he's going to get it at the end of the stage here. So, yeah, it's... Unfortunately, if he does try to go for the clip to the pipe, it's going to make things quite a bit more difficult for him. My guess is, since we got some other runners picking up clouds here, I think Gimp's about to pick up his, that what's going to end up happening is they'll probably end up clouding the stage when they see it.
That's perfectly fair. And there it is! Ooh!
Yeah, angry son. Coming out and doing angry things. So Nick opting to get an upgrade, I don't think that's a power-up. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Allow yourself one more extra hit.
Yeah.
Using it immediately.
Yeah, I think that was, you know, the play. Unfortunately, wasn't getting any from the stage itself. So we see gimpxtreme making his way through 5-8, which Macobra actually just did, and having some trouble with the Goomba shoe there as well. Honestly, the Goomba shoes are one of my least favorite enemies to see in any single level, because their jump timing is just very strange.
Yeah, but if you're lucky and are able to get like the proper conditions to get the drop on them, you can flip the script on them.
Use their shoe against them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a bad idea. So let's see if he goes for the clip here. Nope. He's opting to build the bridge there. And he should be okay. He's got plenty of upgrade power.
Meanwhile, we see tanks on Meteor's side. And using a frog suit for the memes.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever you can use a frog suit, you gotta go for it. Macobra doing 3-9 there. Nice 3-9. And looks like Nick's stockpiling some lives. Not a bad idea. That extra cutscene at the end actually only costs you 2 seconds. So it seems like it's a lot more, but you got to remember the normal cutscene Mario has to walk off the screen. So it's actually not that big of a time loss.
Yeah, meanwhile, Gimp says, 5 may be nice, but just give me my 1 for now.
Yeah, they're doing okay on lives, it looks like. It's always nice to have a stockpile sometimes, though. You never know what's coming up. So it looks like Macobra figuring out the correct route here.
Nick taking care of Air Force.
I think he's gonna cloud this. No, he's not gonna cloud it. Okay.
He can't. He couldn't cloud it because you automatically face this one. If you had a music box, on the other hand, then he could skip it.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't talking about Nick. I was talking about Mac because he's got a cloud. But yeah, you're right. Nick doesn't have a cloud. He's the only one that chose the right route right away.
Meanwhile, we get our first look at the end card on Gimp's side. And not too much for him.
That's when you know you've played a lot of levels here. You're not even close to the end and you're already playing an end card. Feels bad.
It's only, what, every 20,000 or was it 100,000?
It's 80.
I was close!
One of those numbers that ends with a number. And we see Nick taking care of our buddy Ludwig here, so he's going to be the first one out.
That looked like a 5er on Ludwig.
Yeah, it did. I think you are correct. Looks like Gimp is hot on his tail here, with a tail.
I see what you did there.
And let's see if Herbaceous Meteor can figure out. He's still a little lost here, it looks like. It's definitely rough to see World 7 right away. This sort of stuff can happen if you guess wrong.
Well, we have Big Island next.
Yeah, this island's actually shaped like a Koopa, for those of you that don't know.
And it looked like, from the postcard for World 7, there was a Tanuki suit.
Yep. I think you're right. Oh!
And I believe this...
Get into the business.
I believe this looks like 6-9? I know it's one of the later stages of the sync.
It's 6-10, yeah. You are correct. It's the other stage.
Because one of them is a underground water stage.
Yep. Unless you wall jump.
That implies I have that degree of skill, though.
Well, at frame perfect inputs, those are easy.
And we see 1-4, I believe, there?
Yep, you're correct. Normally an auto-scroller, but one of the things about Randomizer is the auto-scroll is removed. We actually see...
With a couple of exceptions.
Yeah, with a couple of exceptions. We see Gimp making his way out of World 7 here, and Macobra hot on his tail. So, it's good that Gimp was able to at least do a little bit of catch-up here on Nick. So, Nick having a little trouble with 7-5, but he did choose right away, so that's a very significant advantage that he has going for him right now. And really nice P-speed strat in the World 3 airship there from Mac. And we see the pyramid on Nick's screen here. Gonna have to use that Buzzy Beetle to break the blocks at the end there and get out of the level.
Nothing too terrible, though.
Nah, not too bad. So yeah, it looks like Macobra's about a minute behind Gimp, and Gimp was about a minute and a half behind Nick, I think. So we see Ooh, that's a very nice upgrade to have there. It's going to allow him to skip some thwomps here. If you're really fast, you can skip this thwomp as well, but sometimes it's hard to make it through those one-tile gaps when you're spinning around with a star.
Oh,
And
look, another
one.
star! How nice!
It's
Might not
Christmas.
be quick enough to get him, though. Nope, not quite.
Nah.
Kill.
Yeah, it's a little too long, unfortunately, at the end.
Ooh, takes a hit, but that shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, thankfully, he's already taken him out, so... We see Herbaceous Meteor making his way out of the fort. Unfortunately, taking a death there in the fast airship. He's having a rough go of things. It looks like he actually chose to cloud 7.5, so...
Not a bad choice.
Nope. Unfortunately, he's going to have to play it now, taking the death. Oh, that was an unfortunate stage to have. Oh, no. The Piranha Plant giving Gimp some trouble in the pyramid. And we see Nick trying to make his way through 6-8 here, but the leg giving him some trouble there, getting the Paragoomba, spawning the babies and the boss bass at the same time.
That's just an amalgamation of WTF-ery.
Basically two enemies you never want to see in your video game. And we see Mac having the Fort Knox of clouds here. He's got 3 clouds actually, so those are gonna come in handy at some point.
Hopefully way later, if possible.
And really value Star here, getting some Fire Bros and a water stage. Definitely don't want to be fighting those as Small Mario.
And we see the coin ship.
Yeah, there's actually a 1-up right before the pipe that a lot of people don't know about. Choosing to take it safe, which is smart. You gotta wait for those boomerangs to disappear anyway, so once there are already a bunch on the screen, you might as well just wait to take your shot.
I haven't seen any hammer suits quite yet.
Nah, I think you're right.
Oh, there's your favorite enemy again, the Goomba shoe.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just coming out here in full force. So we see Macobra taking the lead on Gimp here, although he is racing against Herbaceous Meteor, who's still having some trouble in 7.5. It's kind of a brutal 7.5 with the sun there. He's really close to taking a game over, so he's got to be really careful here. There is a 1-up at in this stage, if he knows where to find it, and I think it's always a 1-up, because I've never seen it be anything else in Randomizer.
Oh, Nick finding a handy 1-up that I bet Meteor wishes he had.
Yeah, could Nick, give some of his lives over to our friend here, because could really use the help.
You know, maybe
Right.
if he was racing against him, but since he isn't, I don't know if that's within the rules.
So yeah, he does know where the 1-up is, so that's good. Trying to do some evasive maneuvers on the sun here.
He at least has part of the bridge built, so it shouldn't be any trouble anymore.
Yeah, hopefully. I know there's a Paragoomba up here, but it shouldn't be hopefully too big of an issue for him. So the World 4 airship is actually the World 5 airship. Nick being the first one to make it there, but got a couple runners pretty hot on his heels.
Ooh, heavy. But soft.
That man needs to go back to the gym. He a little too thick and not strong.
He must have skipped leg day. It makes a lot of sense when you think about it, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Touche. Oh, and getting hitboxed again. My friends, the Goomba Shoes, coming out, affecting the race here.
Now we have the sky to deal with. Oh, and it's the Starwalker stage.
And it's actually a star, so he's going to be able to grab all these stars and just run to the end with it, which is like pretty much the dream here. You can do it pretty easy on this Lakitu if you can, or you can just take it out with a star. I mean, that works too. I mean, it's effective. So,
Nick's saying he has enough lives and just goes for his single.
Yeah, he's got a few lives.
Okay.
I think this is his first shot at the end card game. Getting a pretty nice end card here, actually. And yeah, it was. Okay. Wow, getting to clear out a really decent chunk of it, actually. And we've got Gimp and Mac on World 5 airship here, which is World 2 airship in World 4. Think about that for a moment. It makes sense, I promise.
And oh boy, more boss bass.
You hate to see that happen.
He's saying no to the door to get a different enemy set.
He felt comfortable and does a nice job at the end. He makes it through. Had a little trouble, but
yeah,
you know,
like when you're that close. Yeah, when you're that close, why bother?
And nice time to use a star again against a Fire Bro. Getting a hammer for his effort.
That'll easily come in handy later.
Yeah, absolutely. You can use it in this world or a bunch of other worlds, so... I like to use it in any world that it allows me to skip 3 stages. You know, especially it looks like... I think that's our first hammer of the seed.
Ooh. Nick taking a death in 3 Fort 1.
That's going to be a nice opening for Gimp, actually. He's catching up to him here, so... And Mac doing a nice job of just kind of threading the needle there on the end of that pipe and using the jumping block to jump over the Fire Bro. Looks like second time is the charm for Nick. He's out of there. And we see Herbaceous Meteor, unfortunately, still having to play 7-5 here.
Ooh, you got a feel for the guy, but hopefully he can get through this. Send him all your energy, folks.
Yeah, I'd like to see him at least make it through. Oh, no.
That hurts.
I shouldn't have said anything.
I don't know if I should have said anything either.
The double jinx. Ooh, a set of Fire Bros here for Gimp. Does a nice job avoiding damage and getting a hammer for his effort. Yeah, unfortunately, he's kind of at the point where he's really got to take this safe because, you know, any death's a game over.
And he does before that 1-up is a game over, even.
Right. Oh, Nick just barely dodging the death waffle there. Vertical pipes giving Gimp a little bit of trouble there. I can relate. Yeah.
Could be worse. Could be a vertical pipe while you have a star.
Well, if you have P-Speed, and you get it in this level, you can actually still go right up it. But it could be worse. It could be a vertical pipe with a boss bass on the end of it, and then it eats you when you miss it.
I guess there is that too.
So yeah, Nick, as I mentioned, opting to use the hammer here to skip the 3 levels. We'll see if that ends up paying off.
Herbaceous just got a game over.
That's going to be unfortunate. At the very least, he's got more lives now, and
yeah, but now he's gonna have to go through all those stages again.
that is true. Unfortunately, he didn't beat the fort either, so that stage will still be there. And we have 3 runners now in the water fortress, the only water fortress in the game. 3 fort 2.
Yeah, the flooded fort.
The underwater carpets right here. So the other 2 have definitely picked up some ground on Nick here. Interesting to note, they all opted to use their hammer there, and we'll see if... So Gimp can actually fight the hammer bro here. We'll see if he opts to do that. He actually opts to Cloud, so Nick's the only one that ended up fighting that hammer bro thus far. I didn't catch what item it had, so I don't know if it was anything good or not.
So, barring any problems, Gimp's gonna take the lead here.
Yeah, for the time being, for sure. But it is worth mentioning he did use those clouds, and I think this is a really good spot to use a bunch of clouds. The end of World 5, if you have a bunch.
Especially if you're getting them from the end card.
Yeah, exactly. You just have those 3 stages back to back to back that you can just go right to the airship.
Beautiful run there by Macobra to get through that.
And Herbaceous Meteor back here in 7-5. This time he's got a mushroom, so... Ooh, Nick taking some damage here on Roy. He's got to be careful. And he is, he's a strong Roy.
And it looks like there's no God Pipe in World 6 here.
Yeah, it's always nice when you can skip 3 stages, right? So now he's got a Fire Flower, so he's going to be able to take out a lot of these enemies that were probably giving a little bit of trouble. Paragoomba, Koopas, and Gimp choosing the damage boost in 7-8 here. I think that's a good strategy if you have the upgrade, just use it through that section. You can always go down the pipe right here and grab the big block.
Hopefully it's something good.
Yeah, I mean that's okay. I don't know, I don't mind having a tail. And we see Macobra in the same stage here. Oh, unfortunately, he goes for the damage boost and is a little slow there, so his iframes run out. That is one thing you do have to worry about, is if you hesitate at all, you might run out of iframes. Small Mario actually has the least amount of iframes. They all have the same amount of iframes, but the transformation time is different for the different states of Mario. So the longest transformation is from small Mario to Big Mario, and from Big Mario to Small Mario. And we see 1-5 here, and smart move not trusting it. 2 enemies there would have given him some damage. Oh! Unfortunately, he gets the jump on the Goomba shoe there.
Gonna have to get that safety item. Oh, but it's a star! That should help out a lot to finish the stage.
Yeah, sorry, in chat there's a question. Invincibility frame is what iframe stands for.
And meanwhile, for Gimp, we see the Piranha Fort.
I know a lot of runners don't like this one. This is my favorite level in the entire game, actually.
Oh, really? Care to explain?
Yeah. Well, there's this cool strat you can do in this one with the hammer suit that you go real fast. And I like to do that.
Cool strats with hammer suits? I never would have thought.
It's all about the swag.
If it was really swag, you'd use a frog suit.
You actually can't make it through this fort with a frog suit. You can obviously damage with it, but frog suit can't go under the one tile gaps, and there's 2 of them actually at the end of this one.
Yeah, it's same with best fort.
And so Nick, you winging it. Ooh.
Oh, and do my eyes deceive me, or has Meteor finally made it out of 7-5?
He has made it out. He's got a stockpile of lives. He's in the piranha plant level. He's got an upgrade. He lost 1, but he's still doing okay.
This is where the comeback starts, right?
Absolutely. And we see Tutu coming out from Mac and Gimp. I'm gonna swap it over to Gimp here. Taking a nice lead by, looks like 1 level here. Mac hot on his tail, though.
Ooh, nearly gets stomped by that giant hammer brother.
Yeah, it's worth noting, this seed's been kind of brutal. Doesn't seem like there's hammers from the end card game. They're not getting any hammers from anything, because we're 27 minutes in and we're in World 4, so we could be in for a very long one here.
Again, I don't think we've seen any hammer suits either. Oh!
No, I think you're right.
Gimp noping right out of the diagonal deceiver.
And stages like that, why you always want to have a cloud until you're at the point where there's just nothing left to cloud.
And we find another beta stage.
Yeah, you just kind of run to the end of this one, although you always get those fire chains that get in your way, and you got to duck under them sometimes. But yeah, Herbaceous Meteor out of the first world here, so things can only get better from here.
Exactly. Gotta give him good vibes and hope he does better.
So Mac actually damage boosting in 3-4 here to get the P speed. And he's going to grab this upgrade block and gets a Fire Flower for his effort, so he's going to be happy with that.
Yeah, not a terrible thing to find.
And another one at the end. Why not? And we see Gimp doing the same thing, although he does a jump there, and so probably not feeling comfortable with P-Speed, just trying to make it through.
And we see 5-1 now, because from Max clouding over the fort.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of a weird stage in Randomizer. You get some weird combinations of enemies here. It's not that tough. It's one of the easiest stages in the game, just in general. But you know, if you're caught slipping, you might take a death.
And instead, we find that it's the abandoned fort.
So yeah, aka Fort Knox. Not getting to see Fort Knox here because he actually had a tail. So that tail, putting it to good use here, saving a very significant amount of time. So it actually ended up working out well for both runners here because Macobra didn't have a tail and he did. So I think it would have been a wasted cloud had he clouded there. And we see Nick actually getting the Tanuki suit. So Gimp taking the lead on Nick here, but there's still a lot of this race left. You know, we're 30 minutes in, and we're not out of World 4 yet. And we see 4-4 coming out on GIMP's screen. It's worth noting in this stage, the enemies are always the same. So the vanilla P-speed strats actually work on this stage. You always have the 2 Lakitus, and they're the only enemies that... I mean, I'm sure there might be other enemies elsewhere, but you never see them if you go the upper route. I actually have no idea if there's anything lower. I don't think there is. I think it's just a power-up block.
Gimp takes a hit, but he's right at the end, so...
Yeah, not a big deal. That's why I had, you know, the double power up there. And we see Herbaceous Meteor making his way through the pyramid here. He's got the tail, which is really helpful for this one. You don't have to worry about the Buzzy Beetles when you got this, so... doesn't even need it there. Gets an assist from his friend, the Buzzy Beetle.
Macobra is the first in the Desert Hill. Fred?
Yeah, you know, I recognize this stage as the first one in World 2, and it again is the first one in World 2, but at the very least it's World 5. World 2 is World 5 this time, so we'll give Fred credit there. It's not a full Fred. It's just a mostly Fred. And 3-2 coming out here on Macobra's screen. Sometimes these Cheeps have bad hitboxes, or it's just depending on where you catch them in their jump. It's all based on how fast they're moving upward. If they're moving above a certain speed threshold, they're going to go right through and damage you. So, yeah, if you just catch them in the few frames where they're going to damage you, then usually it's kind of a disaster.
And here we see the World 1 fort. Can't take the top half for that chest, so we'll have to beat Boom Boom. Yep.
He actually went for the clip there. People don't know, but you can clip through that last section into the Boom Boom room. It's a lot of times it's really hard in Randomizer because you'll get like a hot foot there and it just gets in your way.
Does it save any time, or is it just for swag?
It does save time, because you don't have to wait for the elevator in the next level. You just go right to the end. And you save 2 door transitions. And speaking of clips, we have 7-1, so we're going to see some clips.
Hey!
And he gets a 3rd try.
What are you talking about? That was first try.
Sorry, yeah. Let me rephrase. He gets it first try!
Yeah, how about that?
Absolute madman.
First try every time, right?
Every time.
And it looks like we have some 5-3 from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, you are correct. We see Herbaceous Meteor getting some inventory here from a mushroom house on his screen. He's got the corn chip and the 3 bros. Yeah, that's rough on this one. Come on. I mean, this level's bad enough. You gotta wait for stuff all the time. Then you add this guy.
That Fire Flower will help, though.
Absolutely. Doesn't have to worry about him now. Just turns around, shoots him in the face. Right between the eyeballs.
Who wants fish sticks? Nobody? Just me?
I think it's more like grilled salmon.
Don't patronize me. I said fish sticks. Ooh,
so getting a hammer. Yeah, absolutely. We haven't played World 1 yet, so that'll come in real handy for that world.
And we get the infamous pipe maze from World 7.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of World 7 stages, haven't we? Opting to run through it normally instead of clip. One thing I notice about this stage when you get it early is sometimes you can't grab the blocks because there's too many sprites on the screen. So it's actually kind of fortunate. And he gets the swag clip at the end. That does save like 5 seconds. So not totally swag, but.
You know, if there was a boss bass in that level, it'd be a lot more unbearable. But because it's just a cheap sheep, it's not the worst.
You know, my last race, that's exactly what I had. I actually prefer boss bass. Well, I had a boss bass, yeah.
Oh, and we see one of the hands.
We'll get to see what the hands bring here. The easiest hand, too. Just jump right to the end. And we get music boxes, alright.
Too bad we're at the point where we don't need those.
Yeah, pretty much.
That sort of thing happens when you get World 7 first.
We see Macobra coming out with the patented Haxer World 4 Airship P-Speed strat TM. I don't know, I just made that up.
Oh, and he's gonna get the quick kill!
Well, no, he could get the butt grab with the wand, though. Yeah, unfortunately, the hitboxes of the Koopalings are not affected by the star.
Really? I thought they were.
No, yeah, it's just the boom boom. And actually, Bowser can be killed by the star, but you soft lock the game, so you don't want that to happen either.
Really? I remember using a Game Genie on the All-Stars version and it never did that. Granted, that's the All-Stars version we're talking about.
Yeah, that's a little different. Slightly different mechanics.
Hey, it's World 1!
And that hammer he picks up comes in real handy, so they haven't had many hammers this seed, but the 2 that they had were quite effective. They were able to skip 6 levels in total.
And we see another beta level.
Yeah, with the boss bass. I recognize... Oh, taking a death there, unfortunately. We see 1-6 on GIMP screen, actually. Having to take what we would term the Ride of Shame in Vanilla Mario 3, but pretty standard for Randomizer. Unless you have a tail, it's pretty easy to make it to the end when you have that. You have to be a little careful with the boomerangs here. Oh! I bet he was surprised by that jump. So yeah, he actually... That was pretty risky. It looks like he chose to cloud those 2 stages and almost taken a death. So that's a cool little strat, getting a nice fly up above the pillar on the World 6 airship. And we see GIMP here going through the World 4 airship. So he's got about a stage lead on Nick, but this is pretty close, actually.
Meanwhile, Macobra's just finished up the World 1 airship, so he'll be on his way to World 3 very soon. Will we see a God Pipe?
We might see a God Pipe. Unfortunately, Herbaceous Meteor taking a death there. He's made some progress. He's in World 3 now, so they had about 3 worlds on him. And looks like most of the racers are only about 2 ahead of him now, so he's made a little bit back, but unfortunately that start's going to make it real tough for him because he's got to make up 4 worlds here. He is racing Macobra. Oh, that's so unfortunate. He wanted to keep the tail because he could have flown over this pipe section. Now he's going to have to break or build the music block bridge there.
What's worse, there's a boss bass.
Isn't there always?
I guess so.
No, I'm just kidding.
Almost got bit.
Yeah, the bass was a little hungry. So we see Gimp actually clouding 2 stages at the end of World 1 here as well, going straight to the coin ship. So it'll be important for him not to take a death here either. And, oh! Okay, okay, alright, he makes it out. You guys are scaring me, alright? Let's be careful now in those coin ships.
Yeah, you're gonna give us a heart attack if you're not careful.
Absolutely. So Nick choosing to play the stages here, and he's gonna have to deal with a boss bass for this one, unfortunately. He could skip to the last pipe at the end with this tail. He can actually break the blocks, so we'll see if he chooses to do that. He goes for the second one. And Macobra actually, decent stage to use a P-Wing on, honestly, that stage. So it looks like he might have got a pretty decent pipe here for World 3, only having to do a few stages. Well, I guess he must have done the other ones.
Meanwhile, Mac doing World 4 Fort 1.
Yeah, yeah, the World 4 forward here. Taking out the Boom Boom. Going under the blocks there to take him out a little quicker.
Will this be the pipe to progress?
He hopes so.
Let's learn together. Survey says... Nope, it's the other one.
But that's okay. That saved him a pretty good amount of time. He's only gonna have to play I guess he played. No, he's playing one less stage. So yeah, that was the correct route.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the other World 4 fort.
You are correct. This is 4 Fort 1, and he just came out of 4 Fort 2. So unfortunately for him, he didn't have a great upgrade for doing this one fast, and took a couple hits, but the key is he didn't die, so. Taking out this hammer bro, gonna get a hammer for his effort. May actually be a big deal if there's a couple different places he could use that in World 8, so if one of those pipes is the pipe, it might come in real handy. He always got 2 of them actually. That could
make a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see Gimp hot on his tail here. Nick finally making his way out of World 6. He should have some extra inventory though. I don't think he's skipped as many stages. I'm assuming he should have some clouds that he hasn't used.
Wow, extra thick Wendy, but with those fireballs, Macobra says nothing to it.
Yeah, you can kind of sit on that perch and shoot her in that airship if she gets stuck below you, because she can't ever get up there. And as long as you don't stomp her, she won't shoot any rings.
And Macobra at about the 43-minute and let's say 32-second mark will be on to World 8.
And we see Gimp running through the fort here. Decides against trying to beat the Thwomp there. Not the easiest jump in the world. And in World 8, we get 8-1. Fred? Hello?
No, I don't think this is a true Fred.
It's close to a Fred. I mean, it's like a quarter to half Fred.
This is what I like to refer to as the French vanilla.
It's not quite vanilla. It's slightly different, but it's still vanilla.
Wow, he had 3 hammers, and he's following that pipe path to hope it's the way. He's into the dark maze.
Yeah, unfortunately, he doesn't have any more clouds.
And we get 1-1.
So we've seen one of the last levels in the game, and now we've seen the first one. Ooh, Thick Wendy giving Gimp some trouble here. He's just getting stun locked there. She just wanted to jump.
Oh, wow. And if there's ever a place you want to see a beta level, Macobra found it.
Yeah, this one, you know, takes a lot of skill, obviously. Very difficult level, a lot of enemies. Does a great job of making it through, though.
Oh, man, the technical prowess of that one.
Yeah, truly inspiring. And that pipe transition, absolutely frame perfect. Oh no, Gimp. Oh, thank you. That was the last hit. All right. He's out of there. And we got Nick making his way into 441 here. Had a tail like the other two. Mr. Drybones gonna get in his way. It's pretty standard.
Okay. Macobra using another hammer. He's down to 1. He gets grabbed by a hand.
You hate to see the hand bridge, but
and he's taken to 1-3.
Is this actually World 8 or is this World 1? Yeah, at this point he's like, I don't need any more inventory. I'm out of here. Meanwhile, Gimp is now in World 8. Using the frog suit, not going to work out too well in 8-1 here. You actually can't beat this level with it.
He's obviously in it for the memes now. Let's be real.
Or just trying to get rid of garbage. Oh, nice job dodging that hot foot. That's not easy to do. Uh-oh. He could go back, respawn the Koopa. That's a good choice. Come on, Koopa. Move it! And meanwhile, Mac making his way to the end of World 2 Fort. And Herbaceous Meteor's made some progress here. He's in World 4 now, so
let's see if
after
this
the
is
rough
the
start.
way. He's found the way. He's at the final screen.
And Wendy giving Nick some trouble here too, and unfortunately he spawned all the rings. And has Wendy been training for the Olympics? Oh my god, how is he? Oh my goodness. I mean, the thick Wendy with the girthy health bar in an uneven stage. Not what you like to see.
Oh, I see we found the best fort on Gimp's side.
So yeah, as you mentioned previously, no hammer suits in this seed, so
well,
nice job.
It's funny you mentioned that now because for a brief moment I saw Herbaceous go to a mushroom house and he picked up a hammer suit.
Go figure. But yeah, thankfully he's gonna get to finish Bowser off with fire.
That shouldn't be too.
He's not gonna lose it.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too much longer.
And so now Nick's gonna be joining them in World 8 here.
Wow, I actually saw that finish. not like when you see like 5 hammers go off and like boom, dead.
Yeah, right. And Macobra finishes the race with an SRL time of 49:12. So nice race coming out from him. Unfortunately, didn't get a whole lot of hammers till like right at the end, so they weren't all that useful.
Get your GGs out for the guy.
So he has won his race with Herbaceous Meteor. So we'll see what happens in this other race here. They're both in World 8 now, so this is going to be a close one. Photo finish. And they're fighting for second in this group, so this is a big one. We see a P-Wing coming out in 8-1 from Nick. I think pretty solid choice. And it looks like Gimp has figured out the route he needs to go. Nick seeing those 2 levels, he's like, nah, I'll take my chances elsewhere. So yeah, we see Gimp in the lead here for the moment between him and Nick. Herbaceous Meteor making his way through World 4 here, getting a beta stage. The easy stage we talk about, you just run to the end. And we have Gimp in the Navy here. I'm not going to sing the song.
Don't look at me!
But you can imagine what it would be like if I did, right, chat? You can imagine that? Right? Am I right?
In your imagination? That seems like it's rocket science.
Yeah, I don't have one of those, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
I'm not even a creative streamer.
And so, Gimp gonna be making his way into Bowser's castle. Looks like he must not have had a Fire Flower saved up, so gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way with Bowser here. And we'll get to see Bowser's Happy Fun hitbox. I actually hate seeing the ghost there, because it can get in your way right up here. Yeah, and he's like, he's worried about that ghost too, I could tell. Or maybe that's just how he does it. Yeah, first try. Easy clip. The people's clip. Wow. Bring back Wolfman and Chad. I guess we're getting booed off the stage for not singing in the Navy.
Wow. Jeez. I've met the guy, and he sounds pretty swell.
Yeah, he does. I mean, in that case, chat, you're gonna be stuck with me anyway for the second match. So there you go.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but you're stuck with both of us. We're sorry, not sorry.
Not sorry. And so Bowser showing off his hitbox there, only in his head. Doesn't have any problem taking him out there, so he's gonna finish up here and take the first game of this series. And he is done with an SRL time of 53:14. So there's a question, what happened to Herb in chat? 7-5 had an angry son, and he ended up gaming over in the first world. So unfortunately, having a tough seed here, but he'll get another chance at him with the second one.
Yeah, and with any luck, it'll be a quicker one since we'll be running the second set of flags.
You think that until, you know, you have to search everything in World 8 that exists, and then you're sad.
You almost sound like you're speaking from experience, sir.
Like, pretty much every time I play Flag 2, yeah. It's always the last place you check.
Isn't that the truth in any randomizer, though? And, oh... looks like Herbaceous is going for swag a little.
It's gonna show off this pipe. You can actually get an item at the end here by making it through that section.
And he's gonna show that off too.
Box. Ah, look at this, the swag. I've never thought of doing this.
I have to think that he figured that, well, I've lost already. May as well show this off.
Ah, great. Gets a star for his trouble. What he should have done is you can actually clip in that stage, and you'll get to see like the remnants of the Japanese version level of this. So there's actually a pipe transition in the Japanese version of that level before the end, and you get to see it, but the card's gone, so you don't get to grab the card. You just soft lock. And Nick is in the Navy. Again, like, imagine me singing it, and like, it's amazing, because that's what's going on in your mind right now.
It's happening in my mind?
In your mind.
Get out of my head!
I'm sorry. So, P-winging Bowser's Castle here. So Macobra actually the only one having an upgrade to kill Bowser quickly anyway.
Hope you weren't actually interested in hearing the music for this stage with the P speed going.
Nah, it's just it's an extra, you know, little line there. Just making it that much better.
Wait, never mind. I lied. Nick took a hit.
Listen to this ominous music, and then you just have this guy that can't even hit you.
Hey, it's pretty ominous when you hear it in Super Mario RPG.
That's fair.
One of the best Mario games ever.
So Nick finishing up here. Taking third place in this foursome. Unfortunately, he's going to take the loss here in game 1 against gimpxtreme. And he's going to finish with a time of 57:23 at SRL time.
Be curious to see what Herbaceous does here now that everyone else is done. He's plugging away still, though.
He hasn't quit. Got to give him credit.
Yeah. You got to at least follow him for that. That takes a lot of heart not to stop.
Yeah, he pretty much had the nightmare scenario happen to him, and you know, you never hope it's you, but it can happen. It can happen to anybody.
Oh, but and we finally see it that Herbaceous Meteor has officially forfeited from this race.
So we will be taking a quick break here, and then we're going to be seeing game 2 coming out from these runners with the different flag set. Everything's going to be randomized now. Locks everywhere, bridges everywhere, pipes everywhere.
Boss passes everywhere? Oh wait, that's still the same.
Yeah, isn't that just a standard seed?
Touché. Anyway,
right.
Feel free to get up, stretch, top off your drink if you have one.
And we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Yeah. We have our best speed gaming engineers working on the matter.
Yeah, you should be able to hear us fine. You just won't hear audio from them. So we're getting started here, and they're all taking the pipe in World 3. Checking it out. See.
Nope, not a god pipe though.
Not a god pipe. Getting some sledge bros right away. Not actually a terrible enemy on well, unless you get, you know, sniped by hammer. Never mind. Ignore me. And Macobra trying to use the shell there to make it through that section a little quicker. Choosing to take the door there to get a different set of enemies. So, looks like he makes it out, and he's on the Hammer Bro battle now. He wanted that one up, getting stopped here. Oh, the double upgrade. Okay. Okay. I see you. I see you, Hammer Bros. Being generous today. Yeah, it's still on the setup screen. Yeah, as I mentioned, we're having some difficulties. The racers unfortunately started the race before we got everything set up, but that's fine. We'll get it. You'll just have to listen to us and watch tiny screens for the moment, unfortunately. Yeah. Anyway.
They're not the tiniest screens ever.
That's true.
I mean, it's not like watching on a postage stamp.
So the top left should be Macobra, the bottom left should be Herbaceous Meteor, the top right should be gimpxtreme, the bottom right should be nickname Nick. All right, there we go. Now we got it set up.
Shoutouts to the Speed Gaming engineers. And
thought about trying to skip the thwomp there, but
meanwhile, I saw nickname Nick end up grabbing a hammer.
Oh, nice. Where'd he get that from? I missed that.
A Hammer Bro, if you'd believe it. And we're seeing 4-1 from Gimp and nickname Nick. So they appear to be even if everything is to be believed.
Yeah, it looks like they need to beat this fort down at the bottom to break the lock, unless they use the hammer.
Important thing to know that the colors of forts become very important when you're playing the second set of flags.
Yeah, they definitely can. Sometimes you're just unlucky and they're all the same color, but sometimes you're lucky.
Yeah, because there are certain colors of forts that will break the lock, and others that will make bridges. I can't exactly remember which color denotes will do what, but there is that.
Yeah, I think the tan ones generally make bridges, but they can also break locks, so it's not consistent.
What is consistent in Randomizer, even?
The randomness. The randomness is always random. Gimp having some trouble with the Fire Bros here, but he's gonna, get a hammer for his effort here. And Nick making his way through the pyramid. So, got to see the pyramid in both seats.
Oh, there's that diagonal scroller.
Yeah, he's like, I'll pass. I'll just use the hammer. Oh, unfortunately, that's right. He's got to play 6-5, so that's no good.
Wow, stuck between a rock and a hard place, if you will.
And the hard place is the lock.
Wow, you just blew my mind.
Nick choosing to play the auto-scroller, he's like, I've made it this far. I'm committed. So he's going to have an extra hammer that Macobra and Gimp don't have. So we'll see if that, how much difference that ends up making. And we, of course, got Thick Windy again. And, again, a 5-hitter. Fred not being kind today to the racers.
Kindness in a randomizer? What do you think this even is?
I know, right? It's supposed to be just evil and only evil. So, Herbaceous Meteor having a much better World 1 this time around. He's actually right on Macobra's tail, so... And, of course, they both have tails, so that's why that's funny. You're welcome. Getting stun locked here, again, unfortunately. Somehow still alive for the time being. Gonna trap her in the corner. Unfortunately, the rings are following him there, so... Thick Wendy playing games with the runners again. And we see Macobra making his way through the fast airship with the tail. Pretty easy to make it through this one when you got a tail. Ooh, Gimp taking some damage, gets the 5th hit off. So honestly, Nick's not all that far behind, considering he's now played, I think, 2 extra stages, including an auto screen.
Meanwhile, we see the end card on Macobra.
We'll see if that ends up being useful or not. And we get to see 3-5. A level, you know, you'd never choose to play if you could avoid it, but it's a level nonetheless.
Yeah, it sure is a level, if you can ever say so.
Yeah, it's a level in the game of Mario 3.
I am getting learned today. Such an educating experience.
Me smart.
The more you know.
See, it looks like World 1 is pretty kind, actually. Gonna use this tail to bounce off some cheeps to the end. And meanwhile, we've got Nick and Herbaceous Meteor on the airship here, as gimpxtreme makes his way through 3-5, grabbing the power up there, becomes Super Mario. Macobra having a little trouble with the Fire Bros. Classic.
Tanuki, though. Uses it immediately.
Unfortunately, not the best airship to have a tail in, but it could be worse.
Hey, there's more of those P-Speed strats you were boasting earlier, though.
A little tough with the tail, but alright. Apparently Larry, our friend Larry, is just a wimp, so...
Wow. You go from extra thick to extra soft.
Yeah, I mean, apparently Wendy just absorbed all of Larry's thickness.
Tore him apart like a Kleenex.
Yep, and then became Super Wendy. So Gimp having a little bit of trouble 3-2 here with the Cheeps. Gonna take the Ride of Shame to the end. Although there's no shame in the Ride of Shame. Gets the Piranha Plant despawn. That's actually a time save. And I think he's gonna have to play this level. If we get Atlantis on Macobra's screen, I don't think we have clouds yet, so real unfortunate for our runners that they're gonna have to play this level. Not a very fun level to play. We haven't seen any bloopers yet, though, so if the bloopers are kept at a minimum, it might be okay.
Speaking of the devil!
The devil, yeah. Oh, does some nice evasive maneuvers there. We actually see Gimp grabbing some inventory from the Mushroom House. And Herbaceous Meteor having some trouble with Thick Wendy here. I think he's going to make it out this time, please. Oh, no, please.
Come on, come on. Oh!
Not again.
And he takes another game over at the very beginning of the game.
He's had a tough couple of races here.
He's trying to stay positive though, from what I saw in the IRC earlier.
So I'm seeing like 3-7 a frame at a time, and it's just skipping. Here we go. So choosing to use the pink music block here to grab the item from 3-7. This actually doesn't lose that much time because you don't get the end cutscene. The level just fades, you know, as you normally would if you grab the card at the end. So almost always worth just checking what the item is because you're only losing a few seconds. Gonna take out the parabeetles there. Meanwhile, Gimp with the instant kill.
Macobra showing off a little swag with a 2-up bonus. That's a lot trickier to do. It's typically always the star that's the easiest.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, stars and flowers are the ones you usually see, so yeah. Triple mushroom's pretty rare. Actually doesn't lose that much time. That's going to lose less than a second. Overall, it seems like it's a bigger time loss. So Herbaceous Meteor making it out of 4-6 there with the Angry Sun at the end, trying to nab him. So I think this is a level we just saw Gimp do. So they're kind of all together here, it looks like.
Ooh, nice. Macobra's going to be able to get the quick kill.
Yeah, it looks like our runners are going to be able to get the quick kill at the end there. Lucky star at the end of the fort there. You love seeing it. So yeah, he's just got this stage, and he's going to be able to enter that pipe and go right to the end of the world. Unfortunately, another stage you don't really want to play, because it's pretty long. Just because of this section right here, you got to wait for the clouds. Unless, you know, you wall jump, which you can do.
But do you really want to, if you don't even have that degree of skill?
I mean, you absolutely want to, because it's swag, and it saves time. But I mean, you know, it's tough, obviously. So Gimp getting some P-speed there, and some fire nippers in this level. This is my least favorite enemy set here. The Patuis and the fire nippers. So yeah, he's trying to get this upgrade block, and he's gonna get a star.
Looking like he's gonna just clear it normal.
And yeah, unfortunately, Nick taking a death in Atlanta, so he's gonna have to replay it. And he's small Mario again, so...
How far along was he when he died?
He was pretty close to the end, so...
Ooh, that hurts even more then!
Yeah, pretty big time loss here for him, but still pretty close race. Macobra taking a pretty significant lead on everybody here. Just finishing up the World 2 airship. Herbaceous Meteor making his way through World 1. He should be able to get another crack at Wendy here. People thought Vanilla 7.4 was bad. Welcome to Atlantis.
Is it anything like Disney's Atlantis?
Does Disney's Atlantis, like, torture you? Because if so, then yes.
You mean it doesn't even have Michael J. Fox?
No, Michael J. Fox.
Then this Atlantis sucks!
Yeah, it's not an amusement park ride you want to see, that's for sure.
Does Disney have Boss Bass? No, it has something far worse. It has Atlantica.
I don't think anybody has Boss Bass, nor should they have Boss Bass. Boss Bass was a mistake. Truly the only instant kill enemy in any Mario game, by the way. Good old Boss Bass, having that distinction. At least that I'm aware of. You ever notice why we haven't seen Boss Bass again, guys? 'Cause it was a mistake!
Well then, what was that we saw in, New Super Mario Brothers for the Wii and Wii U?
Those don't count.
Really? Are you sure about that?
So, we have Morton here on Gimp's screen. So he's taking a decent lead on Nick. Obviously, they're racing up against each other. It's been pretty close, both races, actually. So they're still really close. This could swing the other way, just depending on what happens here. But obviously, Nick had a disadvantage having to play Atlantis a couple extra time. Well, one extra time, I guess.
Meanwhile, Herbaceous Meteor is finally out of his first world.
Wow, look, Lemmy is also a wimp. So Lemmy and Larry are wimps. You don't want to be an L in this seed, because you're going to take an L.
Maybe my favorite Koopaling won't be a wimp.
Oh, which one's that?
Iggy.
Oh, I hate Iggy. He's the worst.
Oh, why?
Because he just jumps through you sometimes. There's nothing you can do about it. Iggy don't care. Iggy don't care at all. He's like the honey badger.
Meanwhile, everyone's like, Roy's our boy, right?
I mean, Morton doing his best Roy impression here with the thick Morton. And taking out some fire bros with fire. You know what they always say, fight fire with fire. And
fight fire with fire? That makes too much sense, though.
Don't ask how fire exists in a water level, but it does. Getting some sledge bros here on Gimp's screen. And we're gonna get to see 7-4. Wow, what a seed. We get to see 7-4 and Atlantis. What an absolute treat. You know, I just love seeing this level. And that level. And all water levels, truly.
Are you actually giving praise to Fred?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the greatest seed I've ever seen in my life.
Truly an infallible creator of Randomizer.
At least in this seed, without question. Just the great and Thick Wendy. We had Thick Wendy. I mean, yeah, this has got everything. It's fun for the whole family.
Oh, another soft Koopaling on gimpxtreme's side.
Yep, and we got Fort Knox on Macobra here. It's funny you mentioned 5-9. We did actually get to see 5-9 as well. That is true. Nick played 5-9 instead of using a hammer, so he should have an extra hammer.
So technically, we've gotten the trifecta.
Yeah, truly just inspiring.
Maybe I'll go out and buy a lottery ticket because of all these circumstances happening.
So yeah, they're gonna have to try to figure out which fort here is gonna make the bridge, and it's the first one there. So praise.
Oh, someone in chat bringing up a good point. We still need 7-5.
Yeah, we need 7-5 with the boss bass and 7-9 with the boss bass, or actually 7-9 with the cheap I think is worse. And let's take a look at Iggy. It's your favorite right here. Meanwhile,
you know what? That's
Jim
respectable.
Through 2-1. Respectable, yeah.
Yeah. Not too soft, not too thick. Got the perfect 3.
The Goldilocks, Iggy.
Man, we're less than 23 minutes in, and already Macobra's on to World 6.
Yeah, let's note that they were still in World 4, 30 minutes in, on the first flag. So definitely making some things happen on this one. And it looks like Herbaceous is having a little trouble with lives here again, so he's got to be careful not to take a death here.
Meanwhile, it appears we have a God Pipe in World 7. The pipe maze, rather. Don't mean to cause confusion.
So now the seed's going to be real fast. Until we get to World 8 and figure out it's all a troll. So yeah, he's gonna have a hammer here, so unfortunately for Nick, it's kind of looking like the hammer that he ended up saving isn't gonna pay off, most likely. Oh, and just narrowly avoiding the boss bass there. I didn't even realize you could get boss bass in that level. And we got, on the right side of the screen, both runners synced up in Fort Knox here. I think Gimp played some extra levels, so some routing issues might end up costing him here, but it's looking like the extra inventory that he expended isn't going to cost him. And we get a normal Ludwig as well. Ooh, Herbaceous is making his way to Atlantis, unfortunately taking a game over. Thankfully, it's right at the beginning, so
I think all that's left is the sky.
Yeah, you are correct. I guess a hammer could be useful there, so we'll see what happens. Nick with the swag with the Tanuki statue with the last hit on the Boom Boom. Don't do that at home, kids. It does lose time.
Aw, but don't you like looking cool while you pull off moves like that?
Absolutely, that's why I did it.
And you just told him not to try it at home?
Can you imagine if he lost by like 1 second and it's because he did the statue transformation?
I could imagine the comment for that race being, worth it!
Hashtag no regrets.
YOLO.
So yeah, Nick and Gimp pretty much synced up here. We got a really good race on our hands between these two. Macobra is just speeding his way through the seed here, trying to make his way to the pipe, and he's gonna see 1-3. Guess is I don't think he's gonna go for the item. He might, but I don't know if he needs it at this point. Yeah, he's gonna skip it. I think that's the right call.
Yeah, because of the nature of this randomizer, all the warp whistles have been removed, so I don't know if there would even be anything worth it there.
You could get a cloud or a hammer, something of that nature, but that'd be it. Looks like a hammer wouldn't be useful. So yeah, the extra hammer that Nick saved actually isn't going to pay off for him. And we get to see 7-6 on Macobra's screen, so we'll get to see how well versed he is with the clips here.
I'm willing to bet that he gets it on the first try.
Yeah, he still hasn't attempted it yet. You know, he's still waiting. I don't know what he's waiting for, but he's still waiting there.
Maybe he's waiting for Godot.
He definitely hasn't done a bunch of attempts. That's definitely not what you've seen.
He's feeling it out. Yeah, that's right. Oh, and he decides, oh, come on. Ain't nobody got time for this, and proceeds onward. Or
so that one's
he's taking intentional death.
Yeah, he can just P-wing this stage. You can actually fly over this one. He'll probably choose to do that. Yeah, he's got P-wing, so I think that's a good choice. He's having a lot of trouble with it, so it looked like to me he was jumping too far in the door. One of the things that that's the harder of the two clips. 7-1's much easier just because you don't have a pipe in your way as you're trying to gain speed, but it looked like he was jumping too far in the door because you want your feet to actually be hitting the top of the bottom block in the wall, and then you'll be able to clip through. So he's actually making his way to 7-7 here. It's not going to be able to 2-cycle this, but well, I guess he can. He can just damage boost. That'll work. The poor man's 2-cycle right there. Poor but effective. And we see 8-1 on Gimp's screen. So he's gonna fly over this annoying section at the beginning. And he's gonna enter the pipe. I think he's gonna be disappointed, because he's gonna come out in not a particularly useful spot. Meanwhile, Nick making his way here to the end of World 7, or World 6, which is World 7.
Oh, and we got some swag on the Cobra's side. Watch this.
Oh yeah, the off-screen wand grab. Absolutely. So he'll save a bit of time there because you'll notice that the screen faded right away. Because the cutscene triggers based on when Mario goes off screen is the ending trigger. So that's why you don't jump when you grab the wand. But if you catch it off screen, that's the ticket. So it's actually a double time save there because you get to catch the wand sooner, and then you skip the cutscene.
That is an interesting bridge we have there. And we're gonna see it. And this looks like 6-4-3.
You are correct. I don't think I've seen anybody go for the clip on this stage in the tournament. And we see Gimp actually getting the clip in 7-6 really quick. That had to have been just a couple tries.
You mean first try?
Right. Yeah, sorry. I mean first try. First try.
First try every time.
Somehow doesn't take damage from the hammer bro there. It's very nice evasive maneuver. So we're seeing Nick play the end card here, finishes it off. Macobra's trying to figure out World 8 here. The pipe maze is bringing him all over the place.
He's found the end, he just needs to build a bridge. He's gonna try Navy, and this is best fort.
So here we are.
Another French vanilla.
Yeah, and that upgrade he grabbed is actually always a flower in Randomizer too, which is interesting. It's one of the few doesn't change. Actually getting a vanilla end of 8 fort there, so he's able to one cycle without damage boosting.
Let's see if this is the bridge he's gonna get built. No, it isn't.
That be a lock. And so now he's gonna hope this tank is the key to victory.
But unfortunately it isn't, and he's gonna take an intentional death to find the other one.
Yeah, always getting trolled by the tanks. I swear, I always pick the wrong tank. And meanwhile, we have Gimp actually making his way to the end of World 7 here, and we see Nick getting also a first try clip. So great stuff. Got to see a couple 7-6 clips here. Herbaceous Meteor making his way through 3 fort 1. No door 3, but he does get the upgrade from door 5 there.
Third try? I don't know what stream you're watching, but it was obviously first try, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, always first try. So I think we found our bridge. I'm pretty sure that's got to be the bridge by process of elimination, considering there's nothing left.
Survey says, yes it is.
Unless, you know, the randomizers decided, we're not building a bridge today. Sorry, kids, go home.
We wouldn't really have much of a game if the bridge wasn't going to be built.
And so yeah, Macobra making his way to the end here. In Bowser's castle.
He should have no problems the rest of the way. Fire Flower, a couple of fireballs to dodge right here. There he is. Here comes the confrontation.
A battle of epic proportions right here.
And so, it's over.
Getting the kill on Bowser here. Pretty good race coming out from Macobra. It's gonna take game 2 of this matchup, and both games actually. So yeah, finishing with a time of 34-33 of SRL.
Get your GGs out for the guy. We'll see about getting him in here shortly for an interview.
Yeah, with that, he moves to 6-0. So yeah, we'll get to see if he's going to join us. But meanwhile, we've got the other match still going on between Gimp and Nick, so we don't have a winner of this one yet, and they're pretty close. They're going to be in World 8 here, so I think Nick still has one extra hammer. I don't know how useful it's going to be. It didn't seem like it'd be all that useful, but maybe. Maybe I missed something. I didn't pay too close attention to the routing. We know it's that tank that makes the bridge. Meanwhile, Herbaceous Meteor on 1-5 in World 5. Unfortunately, taking a death there. Back on 0 lives again. It's been a rough couple seats for him. He's just had trouble staying alive, unfortunately.
You gotta hand it to him for his perseverance. He's not wanting to give up unless absolutely he needs to.
Yeah, he hasn't quit. I mean, he did forfeit the first race just because he was only in, I think, World 5 by the time everybody was done. So
I have to imagine if it was just a single race, he would have finished it out.
Yeah.
Ooh! Boss Bass getting some lunch.
So it's worth noting that I think Nick just played that tank, did he not? And he took it out, and that's... Oh, there's 2 bridges, okay. So I don't know, it's gotta be the Navy, I think, that builds this other bridge, unless I'm missing my guess. But Gimp is, he's already taken out the tank as well. Trying to figure out his way through World 8 here. Yeah, it's got to be the Navy that builds the second bridge. He's having some trouble finding the right pipe. So...
All right. We've received word that Macobra has declined interview for today, so that's okay. And feel free to give him a follow regardless.
Yeah, GG's to him. Good races. I think Gimp is going to figure this one out. Yeah, here we go. Okay. He should be making his way to Bowser's Castle, and I think they're going to both be in it at the same time? Or, no, there's one stage... Oh! Nick didn't do the airship. That's what happened. Okay, the airship was the other one. So yeah, this one actually was pretty close as well. Getting some nice overworld music here in Bowser's Castle.
Gimp is about ready to take on the big Bowser. Lucky dodge there, and looks like he's got it.
So yeah, Gimp's gonna finish here with an SRL time of 39:42.
Get your GGs out for the guy, man.
So Gimp taking both matches off of Nick here. So that, I think, if I was looking at this right, that should secure second place in that group for him. And yeah, that puts him at 6-2, and Nick moves to 2-4. And Antlers is sitting there at 2-4, so Gimp actually punches his ticket. He's going to be moving on.
And now joining us to talk about things is gimpxtreme. Congratulations! Well done.
don't know if he can hear us.
Well, I'm sure we'll get it sorted. I'm sure he's working hard to get it sorted too.
What would it be without technical difficulties? Anyway, Nick is making his way through World 8 here. He's figured out both the bridges. He's going to be moving on to Bowser's Castle here.
Meanwhile, Herbaceous Meteor is plugging along nicely too.
Yeah, he's made his way to World 6, and he's going to find that it's not too terrible, actually. And he's got a hammer for the lock there, so it's going to come in real handy for him here. Yeah, it looks like Gimp's trying to figure out his audio, so he'll be back. But in the meantime, Nick making his way through Bowser's Castle.
And now, hopefully joining us, if they got everything sorted out, is gimpxtreme. Congratulations, well played.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, my internet died immediately after I won, so...
Quite fortunate that it picked that time to die and not a moment sooner.
Yeah, that's why you should always record when you race, just in case.
So, thoughts about the seeds?
The first seed was not the way I usually play. I felt very sloppy and I made a lot of mistakes. Second seed felt pretty good. My item usage was pretty poor though. I should have used my items a little more effectively.
It actually turned out, I don't think hammers were particularly useful. So you guys, I think you chose to use your hammer in World 3, and Nick actually chose to play the stages to break the lock, and he ended up with a hammer that he didn't really get to use. So,
yeah, I saw it and I was thinking, well, turning 2 flags. I'm like, worst case scenario, I had to play a few extra stages elsewhere, but it seemed to pan out for me.
Meanwhile, nickname Nick has just finished up with an official time of 43:20.
GG's the nickname.
Yeah, both of your races were actually really close. I think you both had a little trouble on the first seed with Wendy, and I think you, Nick, and Herbaceous Meteor all died at least once on Wendy, maybe even more than once. And the second seed, I think you had some trouble with Wendy, but you were able to make it out, if I remember.
Yeah. I got lucky. She was above me causing earthquakes or something like. No, she was underneath me causing earthquakes, and I was stunned, and I was able to I was just spamming the jump just to get above her. Yeah,
that's right. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I remember that. Herbaceous Meteor, unfortunately, that same thing happened to him, and he got just like quake locked.
Yeah, that Earthquake Wendy is nothing I ever want to see in the first world, because last year in the brackets, that caused me to lose like 13 minutes right there. So I feel for any runner that finds her and gets stuck.
Yeah, I mean, normally it's okay because, you know, she's usually not 5 hits, but both times, man, it was 5 hits. It was rough.
Yeah, anytime, any Koopaling, really. I mean, Ludwig was giving me a lot of problems, too, with his goofy hitbox. Died to him, I think, the first seed, I think. I don't remember. I've done a couple races today, so they're all kind of blending together.
Yeah, sure.
That stuff kind of happens when you run them back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
So what did you think about some of the levels you saw in the second seed? I noted seeing Atlantis 7-5, 5-9. We saw a lot of, you know, levels that people really want to avoid for the most part, I feel like.
When I saw Atlantis, the more I think about it, I really don't think it's that bad. It's just a time loss because it takes so long. But in reality, if you play it cool and don't be super aggressive with it, it's not a terrible stage. I died in one race because I was so excited to get out of it. I went into the pipe too soon and it crushed me.
Oh yeah, because the auto scroll. Yeah, that does happen. You gotta wait a split second.
And then 7-5, I felt like when I saw 7-5, I was really excited to see 7-5 because I had a tail, and I just saw, I believe it was your race. I think I was watching your race, Haxor, and I saw your trick you used there, and I'm like, ooh, I'm going to use that now. That looks like a really good move.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. If you have a tail, you can float to the end there as well. You can actually clip on that stage, but a lot of times you end up with a boss bass or a sun, and you're not able to do it. So it just kind of depends on what the enemy set is too. And I think we're joined now by nickname Nick. Hey, Nick, how's it going, man?
Hey, pretty good. That was pretty rough, but it was a lot of fun. So
That's the attitude to have.
Yeah,
true,
actually, both your races were really close. You had a lead for most of the first one, and then everybody kind of caught up to you at the end. I think everybody had a lot of trouble on Wendy. I don't know if you want to talk about Wendy or not.
Oh gosh, yeah, I definitely remember at least one death because she was like 4-hit, uneven, thick Wendy.
Yeah,
that's pretty rough.
Yeah, she was the quaking Wendy with 5 hits and both seeds on uneven ground, so it was rough.
That's ridiculous. Yesterday I could blame the seed, at least on the first race. We had probably the worst one I've ever seen, but today they're not terrible. But I think everybody just played really well today. So
yeah, I think you guys both played really well, and Macobra obviously, like, he played really well for both of them too.
Yeah, I felt like the first seed, I don't think it was terribly difficult. I thought the enemy sets were a little different than what I'm used to seeing in a randomizer, as weird as that sounds. But it was a very long seed. It just, there wasn't very much items. They gave a ton of hammers from the end card game, or not hammers, but clouds. But the lack of hammers is what made it go for so long.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was interesting in that first seed. So Nick found the right pipe right away, and everybody else had to search all through World 7. So Nick had like almost an entire world lead on everybody for quite a while.
That seems to be a good and unfortunate trend, that I'll get a good lead in the beginning and then it just falls apart at some point.
Yeah, you were kind of playing catch up in the second seed. You actually made up time. So what happened is they all used the hammer in World 3 and was able to go the end pipe right away, whereas you didn't, because you were thinking like maybe it'd be useful later, and then it ended up not being useful.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. I could tell. I kept thinking, even after I finished the first stage, I thought maybe I should just use this hammer and call it a day. But it is what it is.
You just never know what's coming next, right? And you never know what the end card game's going to give you, or the hammer throws. It's so weird.
Exactly.
Yeah, the end card game, and it's really hard too when you start making a ton of matches, and then you open your inventory and you're like, wait, which item was which? Because the first one around, it took me a couple tries to start making matches, but when I did, I was slowly making matches. The second time around, I made a ton of matches to begin, and I'm like, I have no idea what item is what. And after that, I just said, forget it. Just keep going.
Yeah, about the only thing you can tell is it's one of the items that appears often, right? If you have a bunch of them in your inventory, you're like, okay, I know that was from the end card.
Yeah. Seeing the stars in the second seed, I believe, I was like, oh, those are flowers. Okay, those are good. We like flowers. I was surprised there was no Hammer Brother suits.
Yeah, we noticed that trend too. That I think only one of the runners during the first seed actually got a hammer suit from a mushroom house.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that was honestly my first fire kill ever on Bowser. I was real nervous. I was like, I just got to kill him quick.
I think you did it right. I mean, you just took it slow and steady. I could tell. I'm like, okay, he doesn't actually know how to do the quick kill, and that's totally fine, because even the way you did it is faster than waiting for him to break all the blocks. So it doesn't lose as much time as you'd think. It's only like 25 seconds for fire and like 31 for hammer. But yeah, it's definitely pretty significant, I guess, towards the end. So Gimp actually moves to 6-2, and you're punching your ticket actually to the bracket round. Unfortunately, it looks like you're eliminated from contention, Nick, but you still got 2 more races left. What are your guys' thoughts on this going forward?
Getting into the brackets was kind of my goal from last year. Last year, I went 3-0 in my group. But then again, I was playing a bunch of new runners like myself, so I think I got lucky with my item usage and et cetera from that. But as soon as I got into the brackets, I played Paradox and he stomped me. So it was a wake up call for me where it's like, all right, whoever I get in my group, my goal is to get into the bracket. And the moment I saw Raikou, I was like, okay, if I lose 2, I got to go 6-0 the rest of the way to get onto the next seed. So,
well, you did it. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I guess I would have liked to make it to the bracket, but this was the first time I've raced like anything ever, so it was awesome. It was fun.
Yeah, it's always nice to get your feet wet in a race, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just fun to be able to participate and not. Yeah, just I appreciate that everyone can participate, and it's still a really good competition. But yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we still got a ton of races to go through. I know Group A still has Antlers and Nick to go through their matches. I mean, overall, it's a good community. I think people should check it out. I always tell people whenever I commentate, go to our Discord and just say, "Hey, I'm new. What's the deal with this Mario 3 randomizer? I'm interested." I guarantee about 4 or 5 people are going to stop and talk to you and want to teach you everything they can.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It takes a different set of skills too than just the normal game. I mean, having the experience from for me from playing Mario 3 is good, but at the same time, it's only useful in certain spots.
Yeah,
and like
I was gonna say, I think 3-2 is one of the few stages you can use your P-speed strats on.
Yeah, there's a few 3-2, 4-4, 5-4-2. But yeah, it's definitely that's not even the most important part. It's like routing, like understanding where you need to check and like where is good to use a hammer and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I would also say, if nothing else, just this randomizer is really well made and a lot of fun. So I wouldn't be intimidated. It's just fun.
It certainly looks fun, and I need to try it myself.
You should.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. You should try it with some friends and troll them, and they'll have a great time. Just dying all the time.
That implies I have friends.
All right, that's fair. That's
Join
fair.
the Discord.
I mean,
You'll make lots of friends.
How do you think I got into this position of calling the race?
There you go. See?
Touche.
I just kind of figured you randomly wandered in here. I don't know.
You know what? I saw a big sign that said "Help Wanted," and I was like, all right.
So yeah, any finishing thoughts for you guys or anything you want to talk about? We do have Herbaceous Meteor. He's finishing this one up, so he's getting pretty close to the end here, actually. He's in 8-4.
Yeah, he's actually plugging away.
I was going to say, this is not like Herbaceous from what I've seen before. He's actually a really good runner. Like, this is not like him.
Yeah,
no, not at all. Both matches, he just took game overs in World 1, and against someone of Macobra's quality, it's going to be tough to come back from that.
Who can we blame for rolling the seed again?
He rolled them both.
Did he really?
Yes, he did.
Oh no, he's going to be so mad at himself.
No, I rolled him.
Oh, you rolled. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, I thought you meant
my gracious co-commentator here in the booth rolled both of them.
Look, I mean, no one else wanted to do it, and I'm not the guy that should ever do it because my RNG is terrible. So y'all put that on yourselves.
Well, I'll tell you now. I rolled a couple seeds a few times when I was commentating, and they got 7-1 to start with fire nippers and nippers on the stage.
No.
Oh my god!
I think both races were 2 sets of new people playing, and I'm sure one of them got stuck in that stage for over 45 minutes. I felt so awful for him. I was like, I promise you, this is not how most races go.
Wow, my goodness me.
I felt terrible. And I mean, that's the way it is. Because we saw some pretty rough stages to start out. And it's, you know, because people think it's a race, so they got to go quickly. Sometimes you got to take a level extremely slow just to get through it.
Yeah, especially when you get 7-1 like that. I rolled a seed the other day where I got 4-6, but it had the same enemies on it. There's a walking patooey. You know that block section under it? There's like a block section you have to go on to then jump to the next platform. There's a patooey under there, and he's just walking back and forth, and you can't bounce over him because if you hit the blocks, you bounce down and he kills you. So I just had to sit there and wait for him to wander out of there, wander off the edge. It was ridiculous.
I hate to cut you off, but we really need to power on and cheer Herbaceous on because he's finally arrived.
All right.
I saw him eyeing the frog suit there.
He's doing it for the memes. Yes, for the memes.
The real winner tonight is Herbaceous if he can get through. He's still a winner for wearing it. I love it.
Yeah, if he makes it through this with the frog suit, I mean, who's the real winner here?
We all are.
Yeah, we got some good entertainment, that's for sure.
Oh, he dodges the hot foot. He's got to get past the rotodisc now. He's got past the second one. Got past the third. Now he's got to make his way down.
Someone told me you can apparently actually get the...
Oh!
He's like, I don't even want to continue this now. That was my moment. At least we get to see Bowser's happy fun hitbox again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to give him a lot of credit for sticking with it. Yeah, both were just unbelievably rough. I think he game overed twice in this one too.
That's always rough, especially in a race because you're like, I know I'm behind now. I was feeling really defeated the first seed, honestly, because I was like, I have to backtrack all the way through World 7. Like that was. At that point, I was like, all right, now it's time to be extremely aggressive. Start using items. That's why when I got to World 8, I had no items. All I had were stars and music boxes.
It ended up paying off. I mean, you did make it back, so. But yeah, I
think that's
mean,
one of the hardest parts of racing that I didn't see coming is just when you take a death or two, and you feel like you're falling behind. It's just so hard to control yourself, and especially when you get a difficult stage right after, you know.
There it is. Bowser's down the pit on Herbaceous' side.
GG Herbaceous.
And soon enough, we'll see him walk through the door.
And here we are. All right. He finishes with an official SRL time of... Where the heck did this go? It was on my screen. 59:32.
Sub-hour. That's always a good thing.
We'll
and
see
if you haven't already, you need to follow all our runners, not just Herbaceous for his perseverance through the end of this, but everyone that has participated tonight.
Oh yeah, and give our commentators a follow too. They're giving time out of their day to give us some entertainment while we run.
Oh, stop it! Stop it!
We'll see if he's interested in coming in and talking about it. I totally understand if he's not, but. He's actually sitting pretty good in that group still, even though he lost these two. So, Jay Coper is the wild card. He's got to play Macobra. but at 4 and 4, he's got to play a couple of people. He's got to play Macobra and I think Carrion Old Wolf. Or maybe he's got to play Herbaceous. I don't know. He's got to play. He's still got some races left, but Herbaceous isn't done yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man of the people has arrived. Joining us in the booth is Herbaceous Meteor. Nice job done. Well,
oh, thanks, dude. I mean, sometimes you got off days. Sometimes you have what I just did.
Hey, you gave the people what they wanted in the memes.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad for that, at least. That does make it kind of worth it.
So, rough starts aside, what did you think of the seeds?
The seeds were pretty much fine. I don't know. There was just something wrong with me today. I don't know what else to say besides that. I was just losing my mind, just like making simple mistakes. Like, that cost me so bad. The first seed, oh my god. I'm sorry, but when I clouded past, I went the complete wrong way, so I did all of it to begin with, and then I clouded past 7-5 just to die stupidly jumping off of the Air Force, and and then I just came over doing 7-5. I knew, yeah, this is gonna be pretty much how it is today. But at least I completed the second game. At least I completed it.
That's the way to look at it.
My favorite was when you jumped off the fast airship, you paused. You were like, no. I could just tell what you're thinking. You're like, no, anything but this.
That's something I've been doing ever since I was a little kid. Every time in a platformer, 2D platformer, every time I jump and I'm about to fall to my death, I just instinctually just hit pause. Like I try to train myself not to do that, but I always do it by instinct.
I believe the old trope is pausing won't save you.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, I don't feel that bad because I was pretty certain that even if I was playing to my best, I still wouldn't have beaten Macobra. But
yeah, he's pretty good, obviously. But I mean, you still had a really good showing. You're sitting at 4 and 4, and the rest of that group's got to shake out. It looks like there's some matches remaining.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh no, yeah, go ahead.
I might still be able to tie for second place, I believe. So I might still have a chance to actually move up, even though I don't deserve to move out of this group. That might still happen.
I don't know. With the memes you showed off there, I think you got a chance.
Oh, thanks, dude. I appreciate that.
How did your matches go with Jay Coper? Did you win one? Did you split, or did you lose both or win both?
I won the first one by, I want to say, maybe 2.5 minutes. It was pretty close. And then the second one, I just lost it completely.
Okay, so if he wins 2, he's still got 4 left, and I think he's still got to play Macobra. It looks like so. You know, we'll see how that shakes out. Mac's gonna be tough to beat, but you know, anything can happen. It's randomizer.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll be happy if Jake Cover can take a win off Macobra. I'm not gonna lie. Would me, even though that would mean I'd be knocked out for sure.
Yeah, depending on how his other 2 turned out, right? So
yeah. Well, thanks for inviting me in, you guys.
No problem.
Yeah,
thanks
no
for
problem.
providing the people with what they wanted.
Right on. Sweet. I mean, that's the least I could do.
Any finishing thoughts from you guys?
Just thank you, everybody. I had a good time, for sure. So,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
see you guys next time.
Yeah, thanks for commentating and hosting us.
No problem.
Yeah, no problem. So what's going on next is, for this tournament anyway, we actually have another race going on. We should on Speed Gaming 3 right now between Amorietta and Justin Man 114. And then tomorrow we actually have 3 more races. We have Amorietta and Goku Bat Fat Man. And JJ Blue and Great White Hope will be doing a double header. So the first one will be at 3 p.m. and then the double header will be at 5 p.m. and that's Eastern time. In terms of what's going on this channel, believe we're on Speed Gaming 2. So it looks like Metroid. Is that? Am I looking at that right? No, that's. We're in Speed Gaming. We're on 4. Sorry. Actually, this channel should be done for the night. But Zelda 1 Randomizer should be going on Speed Gaming 2 at 9 Eastern. If you want to check that out. Ori in the Blind Forest will be going on at 10 p.m. on this main Speed Gaming channel, so make sure to check that out. And then, as always, shout out to Speed Gaming for putting this on. I know they take a lot of time out of their day to do so. Thank you to our runners for putting on such a great show, and thank you to my co-commentator for being, such a fun guy to call these matches with.
No, thank you. You seriously, you saved my bacon tonight.
No problem, dude. And with that, I'm going to let everybody go. Hope you have a great rest of your Saturday, and hope to see you again soon.
Yep. Everybody have a good night.
Bye-bye, everybody.